Hi, welcome to Aligning IT and Motherhood. I'm Esther Girei, and I help frazzled moms in the corporate IT sector to break free from the stressful hamster wheel and live an inspiring and balanced life. In this podcast series, I will talk about the most frequent challenges and problems corporate moms need to face, and I will explore different solutions and techniques on how to find time for the things that make you passionate and fulfilled, how to rediscover the zestful life and say goodbye to stress and frustration. There is one common feeling shared by most working mothers with a professional career, and it is not a positive one: the overall feeling of not being good enough. Not being a good enough mother and wife, not being good enough at work, and certainly not being enough for the rest, keeping the household running smoothly or taking care of themselves, their health, and their mental well-being. In this episode, we will explore how this feeling manifests and what are the three main pillars of finding balance and overcoming the feeling of not being good enough. If you are a working mom in the corporate IT world, you might feel like your life is a constant juggling act where you just can't win. The truth is that women with professional careers are expected to work as if they had no family life, and at the same time, they are expected to be super mothers as if they had no professional careers. And that's what makes it so difficult, having unrealistic expectations of how much more than women can handle. While they are talented, efficient, and productive at work, as well as warm, funny, and loving at home, they are set up for failure with these impossible expectations. Too often, they end up feeling like failures. So, if this resonates with you, I want you to know that it is more common than you might think. In fact, most working mothers feel like they are not good enough. Let's take a closer look at why. If we look at an average morning, it often already starts with frustration. That is one thing that when it's time to leave for school drop off, there's always some delay and rush. This is just part of life when you want to leave home with kids, isn't it? You can never estimate the time needed, and usually you need the double amount of time that you thought. But this is when the first frustrations typically start because you have obligations at work. You might have an early morning meeting or a deadline, and you want to start working early or at least be on time. At the same time, you also need to ensure that your kids get to school. You often end up arriving late, and even in a supportive work environment, it can be extremely frustrating and stressful. You want to meet the expectations, be there, and show up as a professional individual. But it seems like you can't due to reasons beyond your control. After such a start to the day, you are already exhausted because of the early wake up and the stress. But you try to focus on work as much as possible. During an average day, you are constantly in meetings, yet you feel the need to be available and respond to emails and chats as soon as possible. You want to show that you are present at work. Often, you find yourself eating in front of your computer, typing an email, or working on a presentation without paying attention to what you're actually eating. By being reactive, you feel that you have no chance to be proactive and plan, especially since you are too tired and struggle to concentrate. You just want to get through the day, but you can't unleash your potential and be that creative, result oriented, and innovative woman you used to be. You would love to have more responsibilities at work, but you're constantly juggling between work and motherhood. You feel that people wouldn't take you seriously and they might think that you're not motivated or dedicated enough because you have family responsibilities. Because you are leaving early, you might not go to a business dinner as it falls on the day when your kid is performing at school. And if you choose work, you might not lose the opportunity to get a promotion, but you do feel guilty for letting down your little one. On top of it all, when you're at home with the family, you can't stop thinking about the task waiting for you. You struggle to slow down and be present with your kids, and you find yourself becoming snappy and impatient, you desperately need time for yourself to rest and recharge. But it doesn't even seem like a priority. Maybe it will be when the kids are older and they don't want to hang out with you anymore, but right now they need you. That's the reality for most working moms in the corporate world. In the end, they feel like they can't be good enough anywhere, neither at work nor at home. What is the main reason for feeling this way? And what can you change? The first thing is flexibility and expectations. The biggest problem behind the frustrations of working mothers is something deeply ingrained in society, company culture, and parenting. The unrealistic expectations placed on moms. Workplaces have been designed with men in mind, with a loving wife supporting them from the background. Now women are in those chairs, but the expectations remain the same. Spend 9 hours at work, occasionally be available outside of working hours, and prioritize work. If you choose to have kids, it was your personal decision. So don't expect life to be easier for you at work. You may end up in positions with lower responsibilities, but remember, that was your choice. Does it sound familiar? As sad as it is, there are things you can do about it. Nowadays, more and more companies recognize the talent of working moms, offering flexibility and remote work options to attract and retain them. If you don't work for one of those companies, you might consider changing jobs. However, it's always a good opportunity to start conversations about these benefits at your workplace. Silent expectations are dangerous and create a lot of frustration. We need to start openly discussing them and understanding the real expectations at work. Is it a problem if you leave earlier to pick up the kids? Can you find a solution that works for both you and the company? Maybe attending the Monday management meeting is a must, but on other days you can start later. Talk to HR, talk to your line manager about the options, and be aware of your rights and obligations. If you don't ask for what you need, you will never get it. No one will stand up for your needs at work, so don't expect anyone to read your mind. Trying to create a structure that causes less stress is worth it. The worst case scenario is that you understand the maximum flexibility your company can offer, and then you can consider your next steps. The second big area is the support system. The second challenge of this complex situation is the lack of an adequate support system. Many moms break because they want to have it all and do it all. However, you can't. At best, you might manage to cover work and kids, but it takes a toll on your well-being, your health, and relationships. Most of us have choices, even if they are not ideal. There are options to involve your husband, grandparents, or other family members, or even to hire help for cleaning the house or ordering food to cover cooking. Don't expect yourself to do everything alone. Find a way to get more help so you can focus on your career, exercise, or spend time with friends. Whatever you need to feel more balanced. The third pillar is focusing on your needs. Instead of feeling guilty for even considering something that would make you happy, go for it. Do you want more me time or more time for work? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Whatever you want, the first step is to be aware of it. And I'm not talking about what your husband prefers or what would be the best for your kids according to your mother-in-law. No. Answer this simple question. What is it that you truly want? What would help you align work and motherhood? Whether it's working part-time, not working, working more, changing careers, or carving out time for a project that would make you feel inspired, remember that it's your life. It doesn't matter how others live theirs. You want a solution that works for you, and you have unique needs. I hope these tips and questions help you get closer to a more balanced and less stressful life. They will support you in dealing with the feeling of not being good enough at work and in your personal life, a feeling that no mom should ever experience. However, it's easier said than done to prioritize yourself or listen to your inner voice. And that is when some external support, like coaching, can make a huge difference. You've been listening to Aligning IT and Motherhood with Esther Girai. If you feel that this resonated with you and you would like to make some changes in your life, check out my contact details in the description box and drop me a message. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening.